Many people believe in karma. What goes around comes around. However, this can get very cloudy when dealing with our justice system. It raises the age-old question, should the death penalty be allowed in the United States? Many of y'all have looked on TV and have seen a criminal getting convicted and think, I hope justice gets served for this person. Well, the death penalty is one of the ways that justice can be served for the person so that they can know that what they did to other people, to innocent people, is not okay. The death penalty should not be abolished in the United States because it's a way for justice to be served for criminals who committed heinous acts against innocent people while still giving them this time in prison to think about what they did and to, in a way, serve the time for punishment. So, statistics. 31 states participate in executions, and lethal injections are the most common form of execution. Most executions take place in the South, and Texas is actually the state where the most executions take place. Many people who are against the death penalty believe that it does not distinguish between the mentally ill and the regular people. However, that's not the case. Because of the court case in 2007, Atkins versus Virginia, it was deemed unconstitutional to execute mentally ill convicts. Also, people who are against the death penalty because they don't think it's harsh enough punishment, it's the easy way out, do not understand that most death row inmates spend 10 to 20 years on average awaiting their execution in one of the maximum security prisons with one of the more strict prisons. So, common misconceptions. The people that want to abolish it either believe that it's not harsh enough and it's an easy way out for the criminals, or that it's inhumane and that we don't have the right to determine who lives or dies. Also, some people believe that it's racially biased. However, 55% of people who are executed are in fact Caucasian. Some people also believe that the mental effect of waiting for their death and not knowing when it's going to happen is too cruel for the people. However, these people did in fact commit heinous acts against innocent people, and they should not be given the easy way out or being treated specially because what they did was incredibly wrong. And if someone killed someone willingly, they should not be treated the same way, just like anyone else in prison, like someone who didn't pay their taxes. Also, people who are against the death penalty think that life without parole is more humane than the death penalty. However, an inmate that was on death row said the only difference between death and life without parole is once you kill me now, the other one you kill me later. There's not even a shred of hope. So to him, he doesn't really see a big difference between the two because he knows he's going to die eventually anyway. And either way, it's torturous for him to be in prison for so long. So really, to them, it's all the same. Now, some people argue that the death penalty is too expensive. However, life without parole is $1.2 million to $3.6 million more expensive than issuing the death penalty. So really, more tax dollars are going to keeping people in prison for life than to issue the death penalty. Also, when the death penalty is not enacted, the committer does not pay the price equivalent to the one they did to someone else, because then it's teaching people who grow up with violence that if they kill someone, then the same thing's not going to happen to them. They're not going to die. I mean, they'll go to prison, but they still get to somewhat live their lives, and it's not teaching them the proper punishment for what that could happen to them. Also, without the death penalty, victims' families never get closure for losing a loved one, because while their loved one is dead, this person can still be alive. Also, in case of a prison break, like the recent one in New York, it gives a chance for dangerous criminals to roam free and potentially kill again, which is unsafe. Okay, so the solutions, though the death penalty can solve. Justice can be served to the committers of the heinous crimes, and like I said before, karma, what goes around comes around, that they can get dealt into them what they did to someone else. Also, this may sound bad, but overpopulation in prisons is a thing, and it's one of the ways to resolve overpopulation in prisons to clear it out for more inmates. Also, it provides a deterrent for prisoners who are already serving life in prison but continue to kill others in prison, so that they think that, oh, well, I'm already in prison for life, what's the worst that could happen to me? Well, with this, it's the worst that could happen to them if they continue to kill within prison. Also, most importantly, it provides an established consequence for capital crimes, so it sets an example for what would happen if you do murder someone. So, what we can do is, as Americans, we can voice our opinions through petitions and protests if we wanted to, or If you feel very strongly about it, then you could write a letter to like Congress or to the Supreme Court to show how you think that the death penalty would benefit our justice system. So, therefore, the death penalty is beneficial and should not be abolished, because with the death penalty, it's a way to give families of victims closure and serve justice for them, as well as let the person who committed the crime deal with their punishment in prison and then get done to them what they did to someone else. So imagine if your loved one was murdered and they found out the person that did it and captured them, then what would you want to happen and how would you want justice to be served?